Well, it's still morning, so we want to welcome you to a very, very good morning here at Broadbeach Bowls Club for Day 4 of the Australian Championships for 2024, where we're seeing the singles discipline in play today. And there's one round being completed, and we're into the second round as players just enjoying their second end of their roll-up. And we're going to bring you today a big match. Two great players, one having a win this morning, the other just falling short. We speak about South Australia's Craig Mills, a phenomenal state title winner over there in South Australia. And he's just fallen short to Jade Grenwedgie this morning of Tasmania. And he's taking on Western Australia's Cody Packer. And Cody had a good win this morning, so he's in good form. Both players usually always in good form. And I'm joined by Lindsay Clark, former Jackaroo world champion, Comm Games gold medalist, you name it. We'll get right through Lindsay's full resume throughout this match, but thank you so much for joining us this morning, Lindsay Clark. Welcome.
Thank you, Baz. Great to be here. Out here coaching today with young Brendan Wilson. He's one of our Queensland Academy squad members and going great guns. He had a tough battle this morning against Jay by Norris. Just went down by 11, I think, in the end. But, yeah, good learning for him, and he played quite well. So he's got the bye now, which allows me to come and have a little chin wag with you and call this great game between these two legends.
Yeah, I saw you out there cheering on Brendan. Great to see. Really good initiative for the sport. Your role there, working with our pretty much emerging stars. And I know there's some players in there that have been around for a bit, but let's talk about your role before we get into this match. What specifically is your role in terms of working with those next stars, Lindsay?
Yeah, Baz, so currently the Bowls Australia Pathways coach, looking after the Queensland Emerging and Pathways Jackaroos, and then also in our second year of running our Queensland High Performance Academy. So we've got 15 athletes in that, boys and girls, coming through the ranks in the state of Queensland. So they're probably just shy of making a state team at open level, in saying that young Brendan made his debut this year for the state men's open team. So, looking after those athletes in our sport that are sort of coming out of the junior age bracket or the under 25 age bracket, and perhaps the jump's a little bit too big to get to open level, just embracing them and giving them some support, mentorship, some advice, introducing them to the high performance values and what that's all about. So, yeah, it's a really fun job. I love it, love working with the up-and-coming stars and hopefully giving them some of my hot tips and some things that have helped me along the way.
Hot tips? We all want those, Lindsay.
They're secret, Baz. You got to get in my squad first.
Well, if your hot tips is as good as what you've been able to produce on the green over the years, I'm sure the players are in good company. As we see a really nice start from Craig Mills. Matt right back. Jack on the tee there, and Cody Packer, nice reply. We'll bring you all the ins and outs of the event in terms of the current standings, who's playing who across the men's and women's singles disciplines, and also the conditions, as they've been pretty good the last 3 or 4 days. The wind's down at the moment, is gusting at times. It's gusting at 20 kilometres, which is a bit tricky for some of these players. Craig Mills just going through the gap there. And it's 30 degrees. I really feel summer is here, Lindsay.
Yeah, it's real humid today, Baz. I know, talking to some of the players out there, they got up a bit of a sweat in that first game, but we've got a nice bit of a sea breeze coming through as well, which is keeping it relatively cool and good conditions to play in. Pretty cool. We got next door Dawnie Heyman playing Colleen Orr as well, which we'll be able to capture a little bit of that in the corner. So great games being played out there.
Yeah, 30 degrees. Those gusts around that 20 kilometre mark at times, but fairly protected the closer you get to this clubhouse out on green 4, as opposed to some of the greens around the front of the club. We're in the marquee here. We've got a fan going, which we really do need, not only to keep the equipment cool, but to keep us cool.
Well, I thought that was a sea breeze, but it's a fan.
And it's 4-bowl singles, and it's 25 up. Some players not looking at the conditions of the play or reminding themselves of the conditions of play this morning, thinking that they, as they got closer to 21, it was almost over. But a couple of players just reminding or finding out again that it is 25 up. And when you look at some of the players out on the green at the moment, Lindsay, they've played a bit of everything the last few weeks, so maybe we can stick up for them for that matter.
Yeah, look, I think so. And especially when you're playing 4 games potentially in one day, I thought probably 21 might be fair enough. But yeah, 25 up, I think, gives you a real good, winner at the end of it all. It's not quite as hard as 31 up, but a little bit fairer than that 21 up. And I don't know, you seem to get to that 22, 23 mark. I think 25 up's a fair indication of the best on the green in the moment.
Well, Craig Mills, as I mentioned, prolific winner over in South Australia of state events in general, but definitely this one, won this one a few times. Forehand looking to trail the jack, bottom right hand of the screen. He has got a few catches waiting. He's in the area here, Craig Mills. Bowl clean for one, or stay for, he might have stayed for two, but he's definitely scored one so far there. And it is hot, so just keep an eye on the players there. Just see who can really own the environment, not let the environment factors get to them. And how much, especially in your role, Lindsay, educating your athletes on conditions and being able to adapt and also prepare for them.
Yeah, look, it's huge, Baz. I think, as you know, the more experience you get in our sport, if you can train and put yourself under similar conditions in your practice, as you might get out, it's windy or it's rainy, still stick out there and play through it. Similar to that, with your training, you've got to get your body right, make sure you keep your fluids up. You don't need to be a marathon runner out there, but you definitely need a good level of fitness when you're playing potentially 10 or 11 hours in one day at 30-degree heat. So you want to keep that hydration going, keep your fitness up, so you mentally are all there at the end of the day.
So it's one shot to Craig Mills, big conversion there. That's what we will see definitely from Craig, and he's eager not only to win after losing this morning to Tasmania's Daniel Baker, he's eager to get some shots back to.
Yeah, I love watching Millsy play, actually. He's a pretty extravagant sort of player and really goes after his shots, gets up and about. I think we saw him in BPL win the BPL Cup title in Moama a couple of years back and played an absolute howler. So excited to see what kind of shot play he brings in his singles matches.
Apologies, it was Jade Grenwedgie that defeated Craig Mills, not Daniel Baker from NT. Cody Packer won 25-20 over Daniel Baker from the Northern Territory, so he sits on +5. And Craig Mills sits on -13. So the job is, yes, search for that win, but even if you are going to lose in these sectional play lanes, it's all about keeping it tight, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think, and also, they're playing off for bronze as well. So ideally you're playing for the top two spots. So every game and every shot is really crucial, which is exciting. So, you lose a game, it doesn't mean you're out of it at all. It's about digging deep and fighting back hard and getting the job done in this one, and then seeing what you can do in the last game as well.
So big week for a lot of these players. We've seen many of these players out on this green, and we'll get to the names and where they're from and how they're travelling in this event. But when we look across this green, Lindsay, there's a fair majority of those players out there have been up here for at least a week or so now, playing in various other events. Talk us through what events have been played and how have you gone as well. We'll get to last night's result eventually.
Thanks for bringing that up, Az. Actually, no, it was pretty good. The WA girls played well. But yeah, we've had a couple of huge weeks actually, especially the guys out here that playing singles. A lot of them played the Australian Champion singles. I know Chrissy's been here for a good 2 weeks. Started down at Tweed and then back onto that with the Australian Sides Championships for 4 days with a training day in the middle, and then straight into this Australian Championships. And I think Chrissy's, this is her 3rd or 4th event, I think. So there's a couple like that, but maybe it plays you into form, or it's you're a little bit tired by the end. But she definitely played amazing last night. So we've had a pretty successful week or so, the Queenslanders. So we won the Australian Sides last week down at Tweed, the girls. First time, thanks mate. First time in 7 years.
Marge Morris Trophy back in your hands.
Yes, love that. Just love the vibe that the Australian Sides bring. The 3 rinks, all the girls, playing for each other. We had a really good battle in every single game actually, but especially against the New South Wales girls. They're probably the benchmark in our sport. So we knew we'd be up for it against them. We were 10 behind for most of the match, and we're able to really dig deep and fight hard. And so great. A couple of debutantes in that sides team as well, so it was awesome. And then backed it up with the Australian fours yesterday. It was a long day. Poor little skipper, she had a knee injury at the ripe old age of 30, I think, young Kelso. Had to change our team around at the last minute, but we give it our all. In saying that, the WA girls played really well, and probably the best team on the night one. So all credit to them, but silver medal not too shabby.
Yeah, a bit of extra bling to go with all the other stuff you've won over the years. We'll talk a bit about that as we progress through the game here. But Craig Mills, he's holding, well, he was maybe holding 2 there, but maybe only just the 1 now. But players just finding their way into this game. We've found so many times on this green, Lindsay, especially the last few days, as everyone's joined us from around the world. And we do thank you for joining us now this afternoon, and let us know where you are watching from. But the ocean side is absolutely screaming wide. It's super wide, and now this wind's a little bit into the face, being a slight northerly. Be interesting to see if that ocean side's as wide as it's been.
Yeah, a little bit loose for the boys, you'd say, at this standard, I think. In saying that, you speak about the conditions, but that breeze, you're trying to navigate it, but if it doesn't blow, then you kind of get a little bit frustrated. So sometimes the loose ends are the ones you can score most on.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've always found it hard to play into a direct wind. Tailwind, not too bad. I've always sort of seemed to feel comfortable. But if you give me a straight headwind, I've just never been super comfortable, and this is what these players are experiencing right now. As I just look at the weather radar and the graph, that is a 100% straight northerly breeze, and that's right in pretty much into the face of those players from that previous end. So in the other direction now, the wind's at their back, so playing downwind, and the wind, you'd like to think playing downwind, they won't miss their line much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always found it difficult playing into a headwind. How about yourself? Is there any conditions that you sort of are more comfortable or less comfortable with?
Yeah, I'd definitely prefer the cross breeze when you can have that choice. But I think the headwind's quite challenging because you're trying to push up and into it and nailing the arc of your bowl at the same time. I think that's probably the hardest condition you can experience. In saying that, if that is the conditions, you maybe have to give yourself a bit of grace. Like you get within a yard of the jack, potentially play a little bit more aggressive up into the wind. Depending on the opposition, you could probably get away with playing tee to tee up into it, so they fall short a little bit, and then playing shorter downwind. A couple of different strategies out there, but yeah, just getting around the mark and not being too hard on yourself if you can't quite nail it is probably my advice for out there.
Yeah, great advice.
Yeah, attack when you need.
Yeah, great advice. That's, you're not going to get a better bowls brain than the one sitting next to me at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, say hello to Linz in the comments. If you've got any questions, we'll try and cover off as much as we can as we cover this game today. As we said, day 4. And tomorrow it's mixed pairs. So we've got some big singles events on today. 2 more sessions after this. We'll go into round 3 and then into the gold medal match tonight, 6:15. Time limits, of course.
Yeah, it was last night. My 8-year-old daughter, Kenzie, got on the YouTube
saw
comments,
that.
apparently. I got home and she said, "Oh, Mummy, did you see my message?" I'm like, "No, I was focused." But apparently she said, "Hi, Mummy." She's got her own iPad for school and now she's doing YouTube comments. I'm like, what the? But yeah, cool. We love the comments coming through, and yeah, love having a chat, Baz. Obviously you do as well, mate. So send them through if you've got any.
Nice reply there, Cody. Switching over. So you can see already the majority of those bowls down the middle of the rink, and just downwind it is a bit better. My only probably little advice that sort of helps me, and others can try maybe give it a crack next time you're playing into a headwind, I like to play short ends. I just feel that less to worry about. Well, that's a nice shot, Craig Mills, but it's each to your own. But I just feel if I'm playing over a shorter distance into a headwind, I've probably got a higher strike rate. But also, as we saw last night, and yesterday, your game, when you played against South Australia in that live stream match, I had it written down. I think the average length you rolled the jack to, or Kira rolled the jack to, was somewhere around 23 or 4 metres.
Yes.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, we went Matt back really short. That was a game plan. I'd worked throughout the day, so we kind of stuck with it. It enabled us to get sort of some bowls around the mark, but also attack. Chloe and Kels are great hitters as well, so obviously easy to hit a target that's closer to you, but thankfully they didn't need to hit too much in that one. And then we changed it up for the final. We went longer because the WA girls were playing our length, or that shorter length. So yeah, I think the key is just to be flexible and adaptable. We all kind of backed ourselves on all lengths, and yeah, just had to try and work it out in the moment, and try a few things when you're down 13-2.
Craig Mills, I reckon it's pretty close for 2. Just needs to navigate around that Cody Packer bowl. He's played it pretty well. Needs to slow up now. Might be a case of 1 in, 1 out here, or that falls over, our marker, Jeffrey Lanham, he'll let us know.
Yeah.
Just looking at results. So Craig Mills going down this morning to Jade Grenoedge from Tassie, 25-12. Jade in his own right, very accomplished player. As Cody Packer gets the big stick out there.
Played a great shot there.
Bowles and Jack go flying.
Toucher in the ditch with his last.
So we'll get an indication here. Looks to be 2 shots.
Yeah, I think that's the aggressive style of play we were just talking about, Baz, when the wind is a little bit swirly. It's probably easier to hit yourself out of trouble than trying to back yourself to draw within that metre. So like to see that from Cody and got a good result. So just reaffirms that you've kind of played the right tactic there as well.
Yeah, and if you've trained hard and worked on your game and know, and just be, I guess, across the conditions, be prepared that if you have to drive, back yourself, drive, draw in these conditions. Cody Packer taking the mat right up, only about three or 4 metres short of the minimum. So maybe I was talking pretty loudly there when I said I like short ends. Cody having a crack at it as well. But
he had a crack but lost the jack. He skips a lot, so maybe we'll let him off the jack rolling.
Yes. Now, what about this weather, Lindsay? How much does it... Let's say you do get off to a bit of a rough start. You're something like 7-2 or 3 down, and you're maybe scratching around, and then you've got the weather. You're sweaty. Is it hard sometimes just to compose yourself? And is there any little tips you can share with us to some ways to stay fresh and focused on what your job is in hand? Yeah,
look, I think mentally, like, your self-talk is huge. If it is hot and sweaty and you can't find it, and you keep telling yourself mentally, I'm scratching or I can't find it. If you can change that thought process and what you're telling yourself to, okay, that was an improvement, or something a little bit, like reframe it a little bit more positively, perhaps change something physically as well. So sometimes it's hard to change your thoughts, but I don't know, have a run, go to the bathroom, take your hat on and off, something, as we see a beautiful start from Cody there. Just change something physically, and then just take it one bowl at a time. I think that's the best advice. I think you've got you can't control what's happened before, you can't control what's happening next. JR's theory, the most important bowl in any end is the one that's in your hand. So, just that mentality and go with that, I think. Some positive self-talk.
Yeah, self-talk, you do see athletes do it in so many sports. You see basketballs at the free throw line, they'll be having a chat to themselves, and golfers and so on, they'll be able to chat to the caddy. But yeah, a little bit of positive self-talk can't hurt at all. And you're hearing from Lindsay Clark. And Lindsay, what about these players themselves? Cody, he's had a bit of probably a purple patch now for about 3 or 4 years. And he rocketed into the Jackaroos squad and debuted over in Birmingham for the Australian trials there. And he's clocked up a few games since. Let's start with Cody. It's been a pretty impressive 3 or 4 year run for him.
Yeah, it's great to see Codes. I know he puts a lot of time into not just his bowls training, I guess, on green, but his physical training and getting himself in the right, the body shape and all that kind of stuff. And then the positivity kind of comes with that. When you're feeling good and you know you've put the work in, you can get out there and just enjoy your bowls and play a little bit freely. And I know he's got a lot of support back home. Hayley and the kids are really supportive of him, which takes a load off, I guess, when you're travelling a lot and putting a lot of time into your sport. So I think the move down to Maryland seems to have done him really well. He's doing great stuff down there. Won the regional singles, I think, recently against Jack McShane in a thriller. He's been going really good, and such a great guy as well. So it's great to see the good people getting good results, and especially when you put all that time in.
And we're just looking at the current ladder. So in the other section, Jay by Norris this morning defeated Queensland's Brendan Wilson by 11 shots. So Jay by now, on behalf of Victoria, sits plus 11. Obviously, Brendan will now be minus 11. And Jay Bruce, well, he's on 0 because he hasn't played a game. He had a bye. So just the 3 players in that section with ACT not here. And that's section 2. And once again, as we've mentioned previously, for those that have listened in the last few days, Bowls Now app, you must download it. Anything you want to know in terms of major events, tournaments going on around the world. I'm heading down to Moama next week for the big Moama pairs, and Everything will be on there. Bowls Now app. You'll be able to see all the live results. And it's just great, isn't it, Lindsay?
Yeah, look, I think technology for our sport is just fantastic, and everyone's seemingly embracing it now at club level all the way through. And it's just about learning something new, getting the hang of it, and it's just, taking our game to the next stage. As we see a great shot there, Millsy, big conversion when he was needed. That's a bit of his bread and butter shot, I think. Those really aggressive play and just nicking a bit of the jack.
Yeah, the timing that Craig has, especially in those weighted shots, he's always been a smooth delivery of the bowl, but especially those weighted shots, it's very compact, but the timing through the release, getting that body weight through the delivery, very good hitter of the drive is Craig Mills, and he needed it then. So back-to-back ends, resulting in a drive to the previous end to Cody, with the jack going in the ditch, and Craig Mills reducing that count back to 0 by killing it. So we're 2-2, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's good to see the killing of the end, replaying the end. We see a lot of respot these days, but we've got a time limit in this event. So great to see they can just reset and restart. I don't mind the respot. It just adds another element to the game that you're playing. It's something you've got to think about. But, love being able to replay an end if it didn't quite go the way you wanted.
Okay, Cody back up. Quite a long end. He tried the short jack. Didn't come off, so maybe it's short into the wind, long with it. Now Craig Mills, South Australia. It's an interesting note too, Lindsay. Some of these players, we look at Cody. Now, he last week won a gold medal representing New South, and some people are probably going to ask that question today, but here he is out now representing WA in the singles. Craig Mills last week, rink of the series in the Alice Shield, representing Victoria. Now he's representing South Australia. Well, I'll get to the punchline soon.
Can't wait to hear
it. You've got J-By Norris, I think currently resides in New South Wales, plays down there, and he's representing Victoria this week, so there's a lot happening. Jade Grenwedgie, well, he moves around a bit. He's won the big title for Tasmania. So we'll start with Craig. So Craig's currently residing in South Australia, and he's elected to make Yarraville Footscray his home club in Victoria, where he will play his pennant in Premier League and club champs. So which makes him now an out-and-out Victorian club representative, and that's the reason why he played for Victoria last week. But because he won the title, the state singles, before all that happened, he still has the opportunity to play represent South Australia.
Right.
So there.
You've heard it all. Yeah, you've heard it all. Actually, I knew about Cody and Millsy, but yeah, interesting to get the facts behind that. I guess it's quite unusual, but. There's lots of different opportunities for players out there these days, which is amazing. Clubs really supporting players and giving them chances. And, I don't mind the movement around the players. It's good. And if you can, play alongside some good players, I imagine Millsy's playing along some good teammates down there as well, if that's his choice to play at Yarraville. So, it's good to see.
Yeah, nice shot there. 3 down to potentially 1 up there. Yeah, you got family purposes, work purposes, and even to the point where if you're a decent bowler and you might want to live in a state where you want to get coached by someone, the coach can't move locations, and you say, you know what, I think I need to move to Queensland, New South Wales, ACT, WA, wherever your coach may be, where you can get the training and the education. So there's various reasons, and some of these players, they're chasing glory here. They're chasing for a national title, a national singles title. Of course, Cody trying to go back-to-back. Last year, winning the big one over there in WA. And his campaign, as I mentioned, got off to a good start. 1 win this morning, plus 13 shots. And currently the ladder sits with Jade Grenwedgie.
He's got it clean out. Great shot there by Cody.
Well, Lindsay, you want to have a crack at it, and we'll run with how you say it. Grow and wedge.
What about just Jade?
Jado
G.
Yeah, just Jado. JG.
Jade Grown Wedge.
We'll just go
I'm going with Grown Wedge.
Jado. All right, so Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, those tuning in. If we call Jade or Jado, that's the man himself.
Yes.
So
big bowl needed now from Craig. I think needs to replicate that gentle draw. It's on a pretty good arc, all down to pace now.
will it get there? Big conversion there by Cody Packer.
Oh, mine have took a bit of pain out. Jeff's holding one paddle, so he's saved a couple. I think that's a good lesson as well in singles. You know, when you're going to drop an end, if you can get second shot, it really can be the difference between, you know, winning and losing matches. So second shot's valuable when you're 3 down. Great save there by Craig. Robbie's on the job there. Love to see the scores of the other rinks out there on the side screen. So I know a lot of people follow the live stream and they've got their state or their player or their club mate out there. So these are all the games that are out here on green number 4. And they're all up to date. So some exciting close matches to kick us off.
And we'll bring you some results also in the women's singles games going on. Lots of quality out on the green, as we mentioned. Some Jackaroos, world champions, and obviously all champions in their own right, or else they wouldn't be here. As Cody Packer nails the jack, switching over to the forehand in this direction. I think that's a good move. The effective rate on the forehand, the ocean side, is definitely much higher from all players this week on this section of the green, on green 4 at Broadbeach Bowls Club. There's Jade Grenwood. Jado comes in. Beautiful. Sorry, Millsy comes in on the forehand. As you see there, Lindsay, that bowl there, okay, it's only sort of 6 inches short, but see how the last sort of yard to 4 feet, how it really turned away?
Yep.
That's what a lot of people have been caught out. But once they get out there and start trusting it, how important is that in to be able to look at a line and go, you know what, I think I might nearly need to go out long, like wider, but then to put the trust into it.
Yeah, look, I think, so I grew up in the days, as you did, Baz, when we had the big, you know, Dunlops and you taught you how to take grass, you know, which was quite a challenge. But yeah, I think believing what you see, I think we consistently find bowls cutting the line. You've just got to, tell yourself, take some grasses. We see a great shot there from Millsy. Found the line with a little bit of speed, but it's probably what he was after. If he was missing, he was finishing just past. But yeah, really believing what you see and trusting that it will work in. I think when you've got a hand like that, weight is critical. So you want to have good speed so it works in nicely on the bend. I think you'll find on hands that turn like that, if you add a little bit of weight, it can actually just run high past jacks, or it can dip away really quickly. So weight is really key as well.
So a big attempt there from Cody Packer, working down through the hole, finishing 20 inches away. He's achieved second shot out of that, so that's the first objective, get second. Maybe look to play some weight with his next bowl. Craig Mills switching to the backhand. Needs a clear run around the front. Will turn late here, this hand. Can he get to Cody Packer's bowl? He just misses wide and dribbled into the ditch. So I think we're going to see some weight here from Cody Packer. That bowl of Craig Mills, of course, is a toucher. So will we just see Cody rip it out clean or play some form of timer, sit and stay, trail for 2? So forehand it is. Okay, arriving. Looks to be ditch weight here. Needs to get down. Just steering out on him there. Maybe a bit of a shift in breeze. So in the women's disciplines, Colleen Orr this morning going down to Kelly McCarrahan from Victoria. So Colleen Orr from Northern Territory, 10 shots. Kelly McCarrahan, of course, runner-up in the World Singles last year. Great player from Victoria, 25-10 winning that one. And Dawn Heyman getting up against Chloe Morrison from ACT, 25-21. Close match that one. And in the other section, Chloe Stewart just going down to Christina Christic from WA, 25-20. Quality match that, and a bye in the other part of that section for the South Australian player. So Craig Mills has grabbed the mat, and Jeffrey Lanham's put up one paddle. So one shot goes to South Australia. So mat up about 4 metres, Jack on the tee again. Both players enjoying this Jack around the tee here. Head's been slightly better in this south direction. Nice start, Cody Packer. That one's 20 inches short, right on the line. So, Lindsay, if you could have two things in bowls, know your line all day and have okay weight, or know your weight all day and have okay line.
Oh, what? Oh gosh, Baz, that's a curly one. Because if you have good weight but you're out near the boundary peg, that's
no, but that's not okay line.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll go
So
with...
do you want to be jack high 2 feet away?
No, I want to be jack high on the line.
You want to be jack high?
Not jack, like on the line in front like that 2 foot.
Okay, so 2 feet short on the line,
I think,
jack high 2 feet wide.
You don't want to, for me, I feel like you don't want to stick out there giving them a target.
Yep.
Or an aiming point that gives them some kind of
What about 2 feet past in line?
Yeah, I'll take that. I think for me, I'd prefer in front so they can't see the jack, because you have a tendency to overplay it a little bit if you can't see the jack when you've got one on the line.
So the second part of that question is you're telling me lines may be slightly more important than weight?
I think so, because if you stick one, like there's nothing worse when you play really good bowling, you stuck it out there like...
And it can be used to sit on.
Yeah, sit on it, or they can see the jack to run it. Yeah.
So there you have it. I'll be putting that in... I'll be quoting that in chapter 7 of Lindsay's book when she's ready to write that. Barry Lester once asked me a question.
I'd rather be a good line player. Actually, can I add a third element? I'd rather be a lucky player. All these,
fair.
yes, 100%, because the amount of times that you can play a good bowl and get a stiff result, and then play a poor bowl and get a good result. Like at the end of the day, all you need is shot. So,
well, no luck required there, Lindsay. Cody Packer, 3 bowls right down the spine of the rink there, and that one's the one that got him the goods there. You're right, yeah, we all need a bit of luck, don't we?
Yeah.
But is it amazing how just you can go on runs of just can't catch a break, and then some days you're like, why has this happened to me? I'm getting all the luck.
Oh, dear. Yeah, in theory it all works out in the wash, but I don't know, sometimes I feel like the better you are, the less luck goes your way. I don't know. That might just be my experience, but... Anywho, here we are back at the range, and I think here we speak about how good playing good line is. Like, it makes this shot is really difficult for Millsy.
Nothing to sit on, really.
Nothing to sit on, just a basic draw shot. Trying to get down here. Just overplayed the speed.
So there he goes. If he had something to sit on there, he could have caught something and stayed around, versus, as your theory is, off the back of my curly question, saying that, yeah, if you can nail that line, and I must agree, hence the reason why I asked the question, because a lot of players are still fine, 6, 7, 8 ends into a game of bowl, still scratching around to find your line, and whether you're a bank bowler or a green bowler or wherever you're getting your target, you want to really work hard on that, get into a rhythm, and technique's very important too. I find lateral rotations are killer when it comes to knowing your line. Someone like yourself, you get very low and straight and square to your target. There's definitely no lateral rotation, no swivelling around, and you've been able to play 456 games for your country, being able to nail that line, Linz, and techniques plays a big part. Yeah,
definitely. I think if you get your technique right, less can go wrong. Everyone's got their own little quirks, but if you're doing the same thing every time, that's all you need to do, and you can back yourself to make the correction. We see some lovely bowls there from Cody.
Yeah, 4 bowls, as we see, right down the middle. 3 for Millsy, right down the middle. So I did say it a couple of ends back, playing downwind, I feel it's a bit easier to get your line versus pushing up into it with the head breeze, and we're seeing that so far. Definitely the head's a little bit more attractive heading in this direction. So Jeff Lanham holding up the 2 paddles as Cody Packer walks down.
I like this, Baz. We got a comment from Frank. The more you miss by, the luckier you get. We've seen that happen a few times in our lovely game.
Yes, can happen that way.
And my friend Lucas out there just checking in, Team Taylor Boy. He asked how long I've been with Taylor Bowls. So I was 16 when I first got sponsored by them, Lucas, and I'm nearly 41. So if you do the maths there, you'll come to a good conclusion.
So thank you for the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. It's been great to hear people from all around the world, various places. And some great questions at times. It's really good to get a few curly ones as well. We'll try our best to give you an insight to some of the reasons why certain things about the game. And we look on the screen there, down the bottom left-hand corner, women's singles, Victoria out to 9-4 lead. Kelly McCarahan there, 9-4. Men's singles, NT leading Tassie, 6-2. And New South Wales, well, NT men's singles, Daniel Baker, 8-2. Sorry, NT Colleen Orr up 8-2. Well, Colleen's jumped out of the blocks there. Must have been something in the morning tea over Dawn Heyman. So that's a big result unfolding currently.
Yeah, Dawnie's a fighter though, Baz, as you'd know. So, if anyone's going to fight a way out of trouble, it is Dawnie. She's had a lot of bowls on. I think she won every title except the 4s maybe in the New South Wales State Championship. So she's had a busy schedule.
Yeah, I saw a couple of weighted shots there for Dawn, not quite coming off. So I think that's all the difference is there. But as we can see, a couple of rinks over Dawn holding one. So she'll put a little dent in that deficit as her last bowl comes into play. Craig Mills probably just overdoing the weight there. That was the intent, just to come down and arrive, sit that bowl with a foot or two.
Love hearing where everyone's watching from. So we got a couple of New Zealanders tuning in. Robbie's home country. Lynn's, nice to hear from you. We got Sharks Bay in WA. We got Crevan on the deck behind us, Baz. Tell us about the awesome Broadbeach deck since you've opened it. Is there a better spot in bowls to sit and watch some amazing games happen?
No, of course not. No, there's some beautiful clubs around Australia and amazing locations. As we see Craig Mills, he's got that great hit on him. Has that gone out of bounds? Well, we'll let you know. So the rinks are 5 metres wide. Just a little insight to that as well. Obviously, there's a minimum and a maximum width rink.
It stayed in. That's a big turnaround there from Millsy.
Yeah, we've just seen there's a bowl in the ditch there. Jeffrey Lanham's pulled that out. So
I think that was a toucher. No,
Millsy. I think he had a look at that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is a toucher in the ditch. You're right. So there's 2 bowls back there, and it looks like it's still a couple to Cody Packer. But Craig Mills does have 1 to come after this. The deck, great initiative, fantastic. Lounge chairs. You can just grab a wine or a beverage of choice, something to eat, even a coffee. Sit out there and in the shade too. Outside of really early morning, it's majority of it's in a nice shade, and you got the big screen TVs. Nice part of Broadbeach Bowls Club to come down, and the idea is to get it booked out over summer. People coming down for functions and so on. Barefoot bowls, and great place to be. Yeah, everyone loves a nice outdoor space come summer, don't they, Lindsay?
Yeah, Spaz, I think, and we talked about the sea breeze, but it captures it beautifully up there. So perfect place to sit and enjoy some talent on action. We've got Brian tuning in from Christchurch, New Zealand. We spent a lot of time there over the years, Baz, in a couple of world title campaigns, and it felt like a second home there for a long time.
Didn't it? Yes, it did.
Yeah, wonderful memories, such wonderful people. Spent a lot of time at Burnside Bowls Club and Papanui and the local clubs. Riccarton, Riccarton Mall.
Canterbury.
Yep. Yeah, really great times.
Craig Mills, I like this. Backhand. You know the speed down the middle. Foreign territory out in the wide hand. Should be comfortable getting this speed down the middle. It's looking pretty good. For me, it's just a line issue now. Needs to finish inside.
Gonna hang about. Ooh, just has to stay in bounds. Yep, I think it has done.
So it is 2 shots. Craig Mills, yeah, his toucher in the ditch, of course, we said earlier, stayed in. So 2 to South Australia. So just a little tip there, Linz. You, of course, travelled the world playing the game for many years. More so usually on a slow green than a fast green, but traditionally, anytime you go out and play a game of bowls and the jack does move offline, when you start getting out around the peg where it hasn't been played on, hasn't been walked on, traditionally it is slightly slower out there, isn't it? No matter how good the green is.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and even more so in the Northern Hemisphere. I think we found that, Baz, in the Birmingham campaign a couple of years ago. You've really got to give it some extra curry out there. You know, the ground hasn't been walked on too much and that hasn't been rolled over all that much. We're pretty lucky here in Australia. We've got beautiful surfaces, and you know, it's probably not as significant, but definitely have to give it a little bit extra, just due to the fact that it's not played on or walked on as much out on that line.
Yeah, so good insight there from Lindsay Clark. Yeah, I remember we played in Wales one year there, and they didn't move the rinks at all, so it became a really big traffic zone right down the middle of the rink. And the moment you went to play to an offline jack out near the peg, I remember chatting to a couple of the Welsh boys and said, and this is where it really hit home for me, I said, how come you guys never play outside in? You go out to the peg and bring the bias in. They said, well, we don't know what it's doing out there. We haven't been out there all day, so why start now? So as soon as the jack gets kicked out to the peg, we'll just fire one up the guts where we know the speed. So, and that, especially pre-Christmas down the southern states, you know, having grown up in Victoria and your bent greens and that, very evident. Jack gets spat out to the pegs down the middle. If you know the speed, try and stick to it if you can.
Yeah, they're the kind of shots, Baz, I think you need to perfect in your training. I think if you know if there's a jack out to the boundary peg, you might favour inside out or outside in, but you've just got to make sure you've done it 100 or 200 times before so you can back yourself with confidence. So everyone's got a bit of a personal preference. I always like to come back into the rink personally. In saying that, I've practiced a lot over the years, not so much these days in retirement zone. But yeah, definitely work on that. Trying different shots and different elements of your game in training. Cody just overplaying that touch. Still in a handy space though, just behind the jack. Craig in a couple of good scoring zones. Probably just needs to pass with this third bowl.
Millsy, a bit of
done it well.
Bit of rink body language there. He does like to move around the rink. Some players more animated than others. We saw a comment last night saying, just asking, is Lee Schreiner sort of a positive player? Just trying to read his body language on the stream yesterday. Leroy's a very positive player, but he's just more introverted than anything. So it's just something that Lee's always been that sort of slow walker, sort of quietish, and will make a noise sort of when need be. But yeah, it's amazing how the people from all around the world are picking up on these things, and we'll try to bring you a bit of an insight to how these players go about it and some of the things that make them tick. And Craig Mills there, well, just no preparation went into this delivery at all. He actually just went up, grabbed the bowl while he was standing on the mat and didn't get back off the mat. So he's feeling it. And that's not a bad thing. That's just a sense of he's really feeling comfortable out there now. Not a big prep that went into that, and he draws a side toucher. So that's a good sign from Craig Mills. No mucking around, on the mat, picks it up, bang, draws a great shot.
Big weight coming now from Cody. Crucial time of the game. 3 down.
Forehand.
He's got a
good jack.
Well played, Cody. That's a big shot at the right time. I think, Baz, speaking of body language, I think the key is not to be something you aren't. So I know a lot of people, you talk about owning the rink or having that presence or, being a little bit louder. If that's not your natural style, I think just trying to do that isn't great. I think you've just got to own who you are, what you're about, still have that presence, stand up straight, keep your shoulders back, walk with purpose. But yeah, if you're an introvert, own that and just be in your own space. So I know for me, when I was a young girl, I was very shy, very quiet. Didn't really say boo to a shadow. Ended up playing a lot with Karen Murphy, who today was announced as a Sport Australia Hall of Fame inductee, alongside some absolute legends in the Australian sporting landscape. But played a lot with Kaz, and she taught me about having that presence and, just speaking a little bit but not outside of myself. And then I've eventually grown into my own person as I've experienced the game, and I've become who I am. But the key is just be you and own that, and then see how you go from there.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, Karen Murphy, for those that don't know, big news coming out of sport in Australia, really, ladies and gentlemen. For those that aren't really familiar, especially those tuning in from around the world, New Zealand, UK, etc., we have the night of nights when it comes to sport here in Australia. It's called the Australian Sports Hall of Fame Awards, and every year they get together and have a great night. I've been fortunate to go to a couple down at the Crown Casino in Melbourne, and it's the Who's Who in Australian sport, and they hand out the Don Award, and the people that walk away with that Don Award, it's just something else. People like Ash Barty and Adam Scott and those kind of people. I remember the year Adam Scott won the Masters, walking away with the Don Award. But the one and only, our Don, Karen Murphy AM, well, she's been inducted, and Karen Murphy has been announced as one of 8 individuals set to be bestowed induction into the Sport Australia Hall of Fame, among a star-studded Who's Who list of Australian sporting superstars. Alongside Karen Murphy, set for the 2024 induction as athlete members, is 3-time world surfing champion Mick Fanning. Of course, surviving a shark attack many years ago. It doesn't get many bigger than that in world sport when it comes to surfing. Mick Fanning, AO. Mark Knowles, Kookaburra's captain, former and now AOM. Olympic hurdles gold medalist Sally Pearson, OAM. Motorsport superstar Mark Scaife, OAM. And dual sport Paralympics champion Liesl Tetch, AM. So, yeah, that's huge. Karen Murphy in esteemed company there, and I was just checking to see the history where Australian lawn bowl sits when it comes to those awards, and Karen sits along only 3 other lawn bowlers, and that is something special in itself. And if you want to learn more about this unbelievable achievement for Karen, just head to the Sports Hall of Fame Australia website and you'll see what is the Who's Who. And so congratulations goes out to Karen Murphy. We're super proud of your announcement, and she joins Glenn Bazisto, MBE, and John Dobie, AM. So Karen, one of 3 bowlers in the history of Australian lawn bowls to find herself in that category. Lindsay, how does that make you feel, just looking at one of your heroes? It looks like you got a bit of some goosebumps going there. Karen, of course, one of your best mates and someone you've played a lot of games with over the years. How proud of you, of Karen, are you? Yeah,
incredibly proud, Baz, and I know how special this announcement was for Kaz. She lost her mum earlier this year, and the news came through that exact day, only a few hours after Lorraine's passing, so it was a really special moment for her. But Karen Murphy, she changed the game for women. She had an incredible record, or has an incredible record. Her games for Australia are unmatched. But she just inspired a generation of young girls to try our sport, play aggressive. She played with the blokes. She was young. I remember her telling me the story of, she said to a teacher in grade 10 or something, the counsellor, like, what do you want to do for a career, Karen? And she said, I'm going to play bowls. And she did. She had a lot of support from clubs in those early days down in Sydney. Wonderfully supportive family, but such a deserving honour. The first female inducted from our sport as well. And couldn't think of anyone more deserving than that. And she gives so much back now as well to our sport. I think she's the head coach for our Australian para team. She's pathways coach for some of our New South Wales crew, the SA crew and the WA crew. She's a busy lady, but she's such an inspiration, and now I call her a great mate. Back in the day she was my idol. I'm like, oh no, I've got to play with her, and all I wanted to do back then was give her, she hadn't won a Commonwealth Games gold medal, so I really wanted to try my best so I could help her achieve that feat, which we did together, and I'll never forget it. Really awesome, and now she's just Kaz the mate, Hall of Famer now. Hall of Famer, the hopper. So awesome, absolutely awesome, and great for our sport as well to be acknowledged amongst those amazing other athletes in our country.
Well, on the night, as we just recap here, 3 shots to Cody Packer, drawing another one with his last, so that's a nice pick-up. He now leads 8 shots to 5. Good head of bowls. Craig Mills just playing sort of a 3-quarter runner instead of that big flat-out open things up kind of weight, but just seeing some strong turn there. And we've seen it on the draw, but we saw it with the runner then from Craig Mills, so that hand does seem to control proceedings. If you're not right on your game, if you're missing your line, it will come back to haunt you. But yeah, definitely, like you said, great for the sport, for Karen, and the last few years, Karen, of course, since retiring from the Jackaroos outfit, putting back into the sport as an assistant coach. And you almost went 2 golds together as well. Remember Glasgow, and that's my segue.
Yes.
That's my segue into the next topic. And,
love your segues, Baz. You're a bit of a professional, mate.
Silver in the women's triples there with Kelsey over there in Glasgow, 2014. That's 10 years ago. Can you believe it?
No.
And in 2 years' time, the Commonwealth Games is heading back to Glasgow. How good's that news, Linz?
Yeah, so exciting. I mean, when we knew Glasgow were going to take on the Com Games, I thought, how exciting. When we heard there was only going to be 10 sports, it was I hope bowls. We've got such a rich history. Scotland themselves, their athletes, Alex Marshall, Paul Foster, and the girls, they've had a really a lot of success with their medal tallies over there. But I think the great thing for our sport is it's accessible for everybody. Abilities, genders, doesn't matter, age. Very unique in that space. So yeah, really excited for our athletes. They've been in a bit of limbo land, just plodding along with wanting to set some goals but not quite knowing what was ahead, but also what that announcement does for the future of our sport from grassroots, I think. So it just inspires the young kids coming through, or the club mates that are supporting the athletes at the highest level, the funding that comes through participation programs, everything, like the massive flow-on effect it has. It'll be interesting to find out what the format looks like when that all gets announced. Things are going a lot sharper and faster these days, so will be a new look probably format, but it's exciting that we're in the mix along those sports. So great for bowls and great for our athletes.
Yeah, watch this space. Great news. Lawn bowls featuring in the 2026 Glasgow Commonwealth Games. And as we know more news around disciplines and formats and locations and all that, we'll obviously keep you across that. Keep in line with World Bowls. Head to their website, socials, Bowls Australia, as Cody Packer finds himself 1 down, trying to match this bowl or beat it of Craig Mills's. Great weight. So the way he's driving and converting well, Cody, he won't be upset with this so far. It's a pretty nice looking head for him in terms of trying to convert, but just concentrating on other results. Dawn Heyman, well, she's pegging that score back as we knew she would. She's just trailing Colleen Orr now, 9-7. And that game is well and truly back on where Dawn wants it. With Craig Mills, it just doesn't get any better than that.
Exactly what you're after. Just shut the head down there. Cody had 3 seconds and it was setting up pretty well. But again, he's put that jack in a really tricky space. I think Cody doesn't have much on except a backhand arriving, just drawing and trying to get second short, or you can land in off the back bowl there and flop onto the jack.
Yes, quality shot that.
We've got a lot of support coming through for your players. Love to hear who you're cheering on. So come on, Millsy from Paul over there in Elizabeth Park in SA. And Vincent from Manning in WA. The Manning girls and boys going really well. This Nationals, 100%. They were outstanding last night, led by Christina Christic, Commonwealth Games gold medalist. Great to see. It's a long journey over from the West, so the fact that they can win some gold medals, and any medal for that matter, and just put on such a strong performance. Huge credit to them, and I know Manning are a very strong club. I think the girls potentially went 10 years in a row with the pennant flag, maybe. Not good with my stats, Baz. That might be all right. Is it all right? Yeah, so I'd love to know out there, but I think it was 10 years this year of pennant flags for them. So, yeah, awesome to see. Love the crew from the West.
Yeah, caught up with the girls this morning. Yes, it definitely was. 2021, they came runner-up, same rink. So to come back 3 years later and, go one step further, well done. But Craig Mills, it's close for the third here. Be a very handy pickup for him. Out on a nice lane. Good angle to the jack here. Will it make it? I think that's the only thing hurting him at this stage.
Oh,
it is trying to get there. So we'll see if it's 2 or 3. He needed that though, as Cody got out to a 3-shot lead. 2 fingers up in the air from Cody.
Yeah, I think that's another key in singles as well. If you drop a count, a 3 or a 4, you're really trying hard to win that next end. Try and stem the flow, stop the momentum. Worst thing that can happen is back-to-back counts in singles. So a really important end win there by Millsy.
Craig Mills on the forehand. So as we see there, that bowl not quite making it to the peg line, but it is a shorter length end. Only 26 metres. And we're seeing with this breeze, because it is more of a straight northerly, that hand not as swooping as much, Lindsay, but you've played over in New Zealand and we talk about wide drawing surfaces. It's scary, and I'm going to say it, but the numbers 20 come to mind when you talk about free running greens. You look at this greens running around about the 15.5 second mark. It's scary to think that you've played in New Zealand, and Robbie next to us, Robbie Allen, you can add nearly another 4 or 5 seconds to that in what can be some windy conditions. Tell us a bit about playing in New Zealand.
Man, it is a challenge. I like to call it character building over there at times. So the 08 World Championships, and when it rains, it seemed to get quicker. I'm not sure about the grass. It was like a weed or a star weed or something like that. And I'm thinking, oh, rain, that'll slow it down. Oh, this will be good. But actually it sped up. It almost put a shine on it. And, you're sending it out 2 rinks across. The wind is blowing and then it stopped. And definitely challenging. And again, a bit of the same theory. We were just trying to get bowls roundabout and then attack. It was a lot easier to attack a bowl out of the head than draw within a metre at times. So definitely very challenging, but we'd like to have said embrace a win. The wind is our friend. The less frustrated you can get with it, the better you'll go. So
absolutely.
It's not always easy, but you've just got to take it in your stride and just deal with it and like I said earlier, believe what you see. If it's taking 2 rinks, make sure you take that 2 rinks.
So there you have it.
22 seconds. Robbie's seen it over in New Zealand. Howling northwesterly.
I'd prefer not to hear 22. I'd just rather someone say it's fast, because if I hear 22, I'm not really keen. So
just a little dribble out the hand.
Yeah,
Nice shot there from Cody. Yeah. Adding another one to the head, very important at this stage.
Yeah, Craig Mills, I think he was looking to attack, having those 2 seconds, but now being 2 down. And these conditions aren't that easy to try and play perfect line and perfect weight. We may see him looking to kill this.
He's taking some time about this one.
Or maybe some kind of forehand arrive and trail. Yes, it is. Forehand, definitely on an attacking line. Or just stick to the same weight as his first delivery. Bring the line in. Craig Mills.
Wow, that's a fantastic shot.
Oh, what
Beautiful.
a shot. He moved to the outside of the mat there, Linz. I think just to close the angle off a bit.
Yep.
Is that something you recommend?
100%. Yep. It's obviously you wouldn't just experiment with it in a game if you haven't tried it before. But yeah, early days in my career, I think when you're struggling to find a line, if you're finding yourself hanging out or cutting under, like you just, you take a bit more grass because you're going tight, but then you get stuck out. Using the mat to try and change the arc and the angle of your bowl into the jack is 100% recommended. But again, something you probably need to practice and work out. If are you standing on the outside to flatten the line in? Are you coming right across on the inside to get more of an arc and get the harsh turn back to the jack? But definitely a huge advocate for using the mat when you're battling to find that line.
Yeah, great insight. So Lindsay Clark joining us. Her little student is having the game round off at the moment, Brendan Wilson.
My student, he'd love to hear that, Brendan.
He's got the bye. Scheduled meant to be playing ACT, but that bye. So
I'll count that as a win. Can I add that as a win to my record
okay.
there, Baz? We're 1 from 1.
I wouldn't be surprised if you do put that in your notes. Brendan played great against ACT today. It was all due to my hot tips.
I've given a few out this game. That was meant to be the secret, though. I love to help everyone where I can. Such a great game, great people in our sport, Baz, as you'd know. It's my most favourite thing about bowls. You walk to any club in any district or region in our country and you're just welcomed in, and such great people.
Well, you spoke about New Zealand. They don't get much friendly. I'm heading over there in a few weeks.
Oh, nice.
Bowls New Zealand Coaching Conference. So looking forward to that, learning from other coaches and other sports people. And
whereabouts is that in New Zealand?
Auckland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Auckland.
so that's late November, so looking forward to that. Great to get the invite, and over there doing some clinics for the Auckland centres. Played bowls over there many times, but so that's the Bowls New Zealand Coaching Conference, Empowering Athletes. That's November 25 and 26 at Ponsonby Bowling Club. Ponsonby, there you go. Ponsonby. Mike Kernigan, he'll be there. Craig Palmer, High Performance Sport New Zealand. Kylie Wilson, PhD in Performance Mindset Coaching. Helen Wilson, HP Women in Sport expert. Mia Motu, World Champion Boxer.
Nice.
So, a few athletes from different sports.
Tips,
Chris Pollock, International Rugby referee. Lewis Clarebert, World Champion Swimmer. Taylor Bruce. So looking forward to rubbing shoulders with some other people in sort of other areas of sport, and it should be a good few days. And
it's great to see Mark and the team at Bowls NZ doing really great stuff over there, trying some new initiatives and having lots of success, which is great. And we can learn so much from other sports and other high performance environments. So I'm in the Gen 32 program, which is a coaching apprenticeship type scheme, and we have 29 coaches from across the country, from across so many different sports, and the similarities but with our challenges that we're experiencing and different activities we can implement, and the motivation piece, and the sports psych level, we've got so many similarities. So who would have thought, snow sports and baseball crew, and then the bowls team, we've really learnt from each other a lot, and got a great crew of people and a great network now, as we see a fantastic shot there from Cody.
Right in the
trail
middle.
Away.
Yeah, big conversion there. Cody Packer. And he's got that jack right in the middle to pick up two. And it's interesting how some of these heads shape up. Now, if you put that bowl that's near the line of Cody Packer's 6 inches to the left, somewhere near the actual shot bowl, well, Craig Mills just goes. He just rips them out in these conditions. But the fact that the angle is set up like that, he might elect to just play down on the backhand, work under the blue bowl, sit the jack. They don't quite line up for me to go real big. Yeah,
that's a shot, I think, Baz. If he's a fraction tight, he can turn his own one up. A little bit heavy, he could sit out the shot and just go one down, but it's definitely the angle.
So backhand it is, arriving. We'll see this turn here. Even though it's tailing a little bit, it still will turn nicely.
He's chasing it in.
He likes this. It's jack only now.
Very close.
He's done it again.
That's a great shot from Craig Mills. He's in fantastic touch. Not only, playing the drives and the exciting shots, but great touch to draw that one through the jack.
Yeah, great shot.
Set up good for Cody, though, now. It looks like the plant, so bowl onto bowl. Anything through the jack. There's nothing past those two green bowls there, so all to play for.
Cody Packer, 1 down, 2 seconds. There is, as you saw, Craig Mills, is a nice bending hand there. It is still quite open. If he gets down in time, sit it clean, make 3. He's asking it to move.
Oh, that was a pretty good shot in the area there. I think he got a bit stiff with the result in the end. And still 1 red. Craig holds on.
So we're seeing draw shots, conversion shots, driving. We've seen 3 dead ends already. And now we see a new leader. 9 plays 8. South Australia lead W8. And women's singles action, NT, Colleen, first to double figures. No, she's leading 12-9 over Dawn Heyman. Men's singles, Tasmania, trail Northern Territory, 8-11. And the women's singles, Victoria, 14, lead ACT, 8.
Got a very short end thrown down here by Millsy. Worked pretty good last time in this direction. So what about you, Baz, when you're in singles mode? Have you got any like mini goals when you're out there, or you just, what's your thought process? What are you doing when you're out there playing singles?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you want to sort of reach double figures first. I'm a big one on just trying to stick to one hand if I can in singles. Not one hand, not one side of the rink, one hand literally. I'm a big believer that the two deliveries are completely different, forehand and backhand. We probably were taught growing up, Linz, that leads should play one side of the rink biomechanically, and we know this through working with the Australian Institute of Sport. If you spoke to our sports science gurus, they will tell you, no doubt, hands down, that the forehand and backhand are two different separate activities. And we've got data around that. So, and I'm a big believer, if you can play one hand all day long and just get some rhythm going. So that would be for me, forehand round the clock, backhand round the clock. If a green, is slightly, well, I guess extremely different in terms of lines and speed somehow, well, I'll look to probably try and play one side. But I'll try to get in rhythm with one delivery. I think for me too, I get the best out of myself when I'm providing a bit of energy to the game. I want to be really enjoying what I'm doing, so make sure I'm chasing a few bowls early and staying invested versus some days, especially singles, because it's never really been a huge love of mine, but I could sort of mope around a little bit early on going, really, singles? Where's all my mates? Where are all my mates?
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same.
I'm looking around looking to high-five someone and cheer someone else on. I've got no mates out here with me, so my love for singles has probably been long gone for a while now, but look, every now and then, it's good to get out there and still have a crack at it. But I think body language, energy is a big one, and then just trying to get into that sort of biomechanical rhythm with playing that one hand delivery.
Great advice there.
Versus on the other side of this, versus the swap and change.
Yes,
I really hate forehand, backhand, long, short, forehand, backhand. I really do like to get into a rhythm. So there's all the things you need to do against me in singles.
Right, are we going to have a game in a year? I'm a little bit bowled out. Got a trip to Bundaberg with my great mate Claire on Sunday.
Oh, cool.
Mum's on tour, so we've got the Queensland Champ pairs up there in Bundy. It's going to be nice and warm. We're going for the trifecta.
Ooh.
So we won back-to-back last year, and the first year we won it, Claire had a broken ankle, so she had a moon boot. Then last year she had a broken kneecap, and she just had it strapped. And this year she's at full health, so I'm not sure. Hopefully we can still go all right, but we'll have a bit of fun anyway. She's a great mate of mine, and we talked about people in our sport, but we met through the Australian squad. We both got picked for the first time in 2004. She was little Claire Duke from Moama Town back then. I was Lindsay Armitage from Queensland, and we both lined up there. They announced it at the Australian Championships back then. So how good was that? 10, it was a bigger thrill. Although me and Claire are standing up there going, oh my gosh, we're standing next to Karen Murphy, like what the? Like it was just crazy. But from then on, we became really good mates. We got sent to Hong Kong together the following year for the World Cup and the World Under 25 Cup, and just became great mates from then. So she's been to 3 different states and landed about an hour from where I am now down in Kingscliff. So fantastic. We still get to play together 20 odd years on.
Very good. All the best up there. Road trip. Mum's on tour. Love it. That should be a hashtag for... do you hashtag that one, don't you?
Could do, yeah. I don't mind the old hashtag.
I know you do, so let's see that hashtag.
Mum's on tour hashtag.
And let's start seeing your tips in the comments. Let's get an idea of who's out there and who's going for who as we see 9 all. So
we're not going to sit on the fence. I've got Matt here saying they're both top blokes. So it's hard to cheer for one over the other, and he's sitting on the fence. But we want to see someone go out on a limb here.
We sure do.
What about you, Baz? What have you got? Who are you going for?
Well, I'm only going to go for Millsy just because I want to see the section have plenty of interest throughout the end of the day.
Yeah.
So,
Yep,
honestly, if it was the other way around, Cody lost his first and Millsy won his first, I'd be going for Cody. But I just want to see Millsy get up, and then just for the viewers and everyone, make sure that this section's well and truly alive going into that last game. So,
nice.
Millsy, of course, losing his first game. And he needs to bounce back. So, I think it'd be good for the section. So that'll be me.
Well, I better go for Cody. He's one of our jackaroos.
Of course,
so, doing good stuff as well. Puts in a lot of time. And I'm going to go for Cody since you've gone for Millsy, so we can have one winner in our commentary booth.
And
what about Robbie? He could be our decider. Robbie, call it. Give us a minute.
None of them are from New Zealand, so don't go there.
Oh, he sat on the fence. One thing I said not to do, but that's okay. That's okay. He's neutral. Oh, 23 or 24 all. Okay, timed out. Oh no. So we do have a 2.5 hour time limit for a 25 up singles battle. We've got the time on the screen, which is fantastic, so everyone can follow along at home. I'm sure the players will be very aware of that as well as it gets down to the pointy end.
Cody Packer, good body language there, chasing down. Nice shot. So big correction required there. Cody Packer. You see those bowls once again though in this direction, outside that wing bowl. Most of them down the middle. Big weight here, Craig Mills.
Just drifted on that one. Oh, Robbie, you'll like this one. So we got Perth Pennant saying Cody's originally from New Zealand, I think, or at least has some New Zealand heritage. So does that sway you?
It could do.
Thanks for that, team, Perth Pennant. It could do. So it's still on the fence. He is a Queenslander now. We've got some support here for Daniel Baker from NT, his proud sister. That's awesome, Cara. It's a big family affair. My sister was out last night watching us. Love to see that support for everyone as they compete. It is a lonely place, singles, so knowing you've got people on your side really helps, goes a long way.
Cody Packer misses the front. He's in for 2. Yeah, that's enough.
Nicely weighted.
Yep. As much as I've played a lot of team bowls, Lindsay, over the years, probably some things that sort of stuck out for me in regards to singles, sort of, my love disappearing a little bit was I got to go on a pretty cool trip with Joshy Thornton over to Potters World Indoor Pairs, 2015. Doesn't get much better than that. Road trip of all road trips with me little mate Joshy, and then we backed it up, Australian Open Pairs champs. And you're thinking, there's nothing comes close to this. I'm sorry, no real singles title for me can match the feeling and the celebration that comes with winning with a best mate or a group of mates. So, I sort of did stop sort of playing much singles, but every now and then you get an invite to a big singles somewhere and you're like, wow, I am actually excited. So I guess the less amount of singles I play these days, I get more excited about the 1 or 2 events I do play. So and looking at next week, Moama Pairs, playing with my good mate Johnny McCarran there. Some great tournaments where you go, it's more than just about you. It's about getting together with a mate or a couple of mates and really enjoying the tournament and their friendship for what it is. And that probably takes me back to why I got involved in the game. I used to play with my dad, and I used to get to hang out with my dad, won the club pairs with my dad, and I even played like a club triples with my brother and my dad once, and I was like, wow, this is cool. But in saying that too, I guess if we're not performing well in singles and putting our name out there, it is hard for to really get some higher honours in terms of selection and being noticed.
Yeah, that's it. I think the best thing I like about singles these days is you get 4 bowls. So I'm like, oh, bonus. We play a lot of 2-bowl stuff. I've played a lot of 4s in my career and a lot of triples. And even pairs these days mostly is 3-bowl pairs. So, I love having 4 bowls and getting to play different shots and different tactics. And, I'm not sure I've got the right mentality for singles, though. I go a bit walkabout sometimes and then I need to bring myself back to the moment. But, it is. I do enjoy the strategy behind singles, and also it's just you, and you've only got yourself to blame at the end of the day, or yourself to say good job. So.
Yeah, very true. And we do talk about the conditions a lot, Lindsay. Now, the sun has sort of just disappeared for the last sort of 10 minutes behind the clouds, and I'm not saying specifically why these players have pulled up short 3 times here. I know we're into the headwind, but I know once the sun does go behind the clouds for a period of time, the little bit of shine does come off the green. It cools off a touch. That one just sliding past. Interesting to see if this is a common part of today with that the temperature fluctuating just a touch with the cloud cover around. Is it something that you think can definitely happen throughout a game?
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's something you've always got to be very aware of. So it's okay to do one and then realise that it's a bit short or a bit through, whatever the condition is. But the key is being really aware of that and not making the same mistake twice. So they have gone a bit longer in this direction. We've been playing mat back short, so we can give them a little bit of grace with that as well. But yeah, the key is, and I think as well, the short bowls are always a killer. Back bowls are always in the match. So if I'm finding myself dropping short regularly, I'm trying to get up with my first and then work my way back from there.
So we are quite lucky we're not in Bundaberg at the moment. It's very...
Wowza.
It's pouring down up that way. So it's warm and sort of stormy conditions today, but so good so far. We're pretty clear here on the Gold Coast. There is predicted maybe some rain later on tonight, but we are pretty lucky with how it sits at the moment.
I just got one more day to get through, I think. So come on, universe. Keep the rains away and the bowls matches in progress. Cody needs to get up and run some.
It's going to be in Millsy's way. Millsy did just nail that line, as you can see, the one behind at the bottom of the screen. So it's a bit of an end-off for the boys here. And I think it's very environmental. Conditions switching.
Jeff's just holding up 2 yellow paddles as well. So loose end, just really important for this one to find good weight, find a path through.
I think Millsy just plays the same bowl, and what it will be, because I think, if he happens to get the jack, he might trail for 2 or same line. He's on a really good track here.
It's just drifting.
Yeah, that breeze is really grabbing that bowl.
Oh.
Now he needs to slow up. Well, that slide's not going to help. And he's thrown his arms up. He's not happy. He knows that just drifted. You said it, Lindsay, halfway. It just started fighting the line. And that's what we call a soft 2.
Yeah, so if you're scoring that, it's like, oh, geez, I got away with that. And if you're dropping that soft 2, it's incredibly frustrating.
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3. Oh, it is 3.
That is a very soft 3 then. So that's 3 ends in a row to Cody Packer. He now leads 14-9. So a little breakaway here. First to 25. Game's going on around us. Well, Dawn Heyman, she's saying, Colleen, come back here. 12 all. And men's singles, well, no. There we have it. 13. Dawn Heyman hit the front. 13-12. Men's singles, Tassie over NT, 13-12. And women's singles, Victoria, 15-9. First to 25 across men's and women's singles here for the Australian Championships. Day 4, Broadbeach Bowls Club. Talking about the conditions. It's just a little bit cloudy now, but all in all, still 30 degrees. And the humidity sitting at 30%. Definitely a bit of moisture in the air last night.
I feel like it's a big moment in the context of this game, Baz, with these consecutive ends to Cody. I feel like Millsy really needs to wrestle the momentum back. Try and get his first 1 or 2 in that zone. Go back to his shorter lengths. It's a really good opener. Exactly what he needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially to do it on your opposition's length.
Yeah, it's maximum length.
It's a little mini win already, isn't it? When someone throws it long and says, all right, I've got you by 5 here on the score, plus I'm going to test you out long, and they respond. Was there a period in your career, Lindsay, where you did have a love for one or the other, in terms of team events or singles, or was it just always, I'm just keen to tackle whatever's in front of me?
I've always loved team events. I think I'm a very social type I love having people around me. You mentioned about sharing experiences with people, and even better is when those memories keep coming up. And we celebrated our 1-year World Bowls anniversary with Dawny and Kelso. When you've got just yourself, it's a little bit lonelier, but also satisfying, obviously. Won the AO singles back in 2014, I think, and it was in that period where I was like really going to give it a crack. So I got to play singles for Australia when Kelsey Cottrell had a year off to finish year 12 back in the day, and had a good little record playing singles for Australia back then. So I won a few games along my journey there, then won the AO singles, and that was lots of fun. In saying that, the prize money was good at the AO singles, but definitely didn't have as big a thrill, I guess, when it was just me out there. So I don't know.
You can't celebrate on your own.
No, not really. I had Brad there. He was in the crowd, so he come out, run over, and picked me up and threw me around. That was great. But not having a teammate there to celebrate with was, it wasn't as fun. But I took the prize check. That was nice. 18K back then. So
yes, it was.
Pay the house deposit.
Yes, it was. So Cody Packer finds himself 2 down now. And that bowl, the shot bowl, is slightly in front of the jack. Does he persist backhand, crack an egg, or does he go, no, you know what, I'm good enough here, forehand, down through the port? Because I think the perfect shot is still forehand, trail the jack. I think if he wants to score, I think it's forehand score, backhand maybe reduce, but he's going to have to play, I feel, the perfect bowl to score on the backhand. Get to the face of the shot bowl, turn it once or twice and take its place, no jack movement. So over this distance, ditch to ditch, it's going to take a very special shot from Cody Packer, the bowls coordinator, Club Marylands now. Maryland's magic. Can he produce some magic? He's close here, Lindsay. Bowl clean, no jack.
Always. Oh, I nearly made something out of that. I think he's just 1 down now.
Yeah, plan B was reduce. Well, the way that jack was kicking out to the wing there, another 2 feet, he scores 2.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think importantly, he's made the shot a lot harder for Millsy to try and make 2. So, again, if you're not scoring, you want to be getting second and making it as hard as possible for your opposition to get any more than 1 in there.
Craig Mills, backhand, spinning into play here. It's on its way. Looks to be on a tighter angle here. But is he looking for Cody Packer's bowl?
Oh, it's actually a fair effort. Yeah, he was trying to get under the shot to sit the blue for 3, I think. Don't mind that.
Yeah.
Don't mind that. He's going after his shots.
So 1 shot, Craig Mills. He's hit double figures. Trails Cody Packer, Western Australia, 10-14. Cody there enjoying a little run. 3 ends in a row, picking up a 1, a 2 and a 3. So 6 shots across those 3 ends. And Millsy just scoring the 1 there. So quality game. We've seen everything. Shots played, drive, draw, conversions. Craig Mills, Matt on the tee, short, very short jack. Jeff Lanham, he had a little peek across, see the distance here, so probably about 23 metres of length, 24 metres of length here, short end for Craig Mills. That one only finishing 18 inches away, forehand. Cody, he's following him down, both players, using the aero bowls. That one only 4 feet short, but we spoke to Lindsay about line and length before. You've got to get some confidence out of that. Playing a nice line, 4 feet short. It's really only a couple of rotations of the bowl, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. It's probably in not a bad knock-up zone as well, so you're only needing a couple of feet. Any contact onto that, bring it into the head. Or we change hands. Again, I think that's a good thing in singles when you've got 4 bowls. If you're going to change, probably have 3 goes at it. Hasn't played too many down this backhand side. Just slightly under the line. The good cider. Millsy opting to stay on the forehand. Just got to navigate that one of Cody's.
Yeah, he's adamant to stay there, isn't he? He wants Jack now. So it's actually overcast conditions now as we have a look around 360. Pretty much cloudy everywhere we look. Couple of breaks and blue sky, but how much impact will have on the conditions throughout the day and into the evening as we bring you more action today. Our next game, round 3 match, 3 p.m, rink 22. Christina Christic, Una Yamini Moffat from South Australia. So we'll be back-to-back South Australians on show for you.
Oh, just has to be under.
He's gone underneath, flirted with it again. Is it enough for second, or does Cody Packer load up here now and just rip that shot bowl out? Because if it's 2 seconds, I think that's what he'll be doing.
And Jeff hasn't really indicated. He was just holding one paddle. He hasn't had a good look, so... Couple of shot options on here for Cody. Lining up like he's going for it. Just got the gap.
It was always going to be big weight, looking for that shot bowl. Or shot bowls. And in the end, it was one.
Yeah, back-to-back ends there from Millsy. Bit of momentum in the South Australians' corner at the moment. We're going to see a Matt back short end this way. Are we going long this way, Baz? Had some success in the long ends in this direction.
Well, his first bowl on the previous end in this direction was a side resting toucher when Cody went ditch to ditch. And Millsy said, well, even though that was easy going, I'm going to show you how good I am and roll it short. So we're only 23 metres now. Matt right back. Interesting tactic.
You see Cody in the background just having a water break.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Sometimes sit down, a few deep breaths. I love that one I learnt recently of Adam Goods. He was talking to some, it was a show I watched recently, and about how he dealt with pressure throughout his career and uncomfortable moments, and he'd always stop and breathe in confidence and courage and exhale fear and doubt. And I just love that. Absolutely love that, and it's one I'm running with at the moment. And it's funny how we do stop and have a big deep breath, and we're looking to breathe in, get some air into the lungs, and just sort of help ourselves be a bit relaxed. But you can put a word next to it as well. Breathe in some confidence and exhale some doubt and fear. So we've learned a bit over the years, Lindsay, in various high-performance environments about how important breathing is. And you see there Cody sitting on the chair having a water. And you said before, know what works for you and stick at it. So sometimes, you can use those little techniques, can't you?
Yeah, I think, Baz, similar to that. So, of all things, so we were doing a first aid update recently, and we were talking about when someone's in shock potentially or going through some stuff, the worst thing you can say to them is just relax or be calm.
Yeah.
But if you say relax your muscles, calm your breathing, so it gives them something specific as opposed to like, just relax, Baz. You know, that's easy to say when you're in that, like the height of, whether it's first aid or, Commonwealth Games gold medal final. But if you're saying relax your breathing, calm the muscles, whatever it is, I think if you add something to it as opposed to just a word, really important. Just finding some sayings that work for you as well. Some key phrases.
Russell Tyrrell. G'day, Russ, all the way from the west as well, as Craig Mills draws a toucher there. He's not happy. A big shake of the head. He knows. Cody Packer. This will be... Well, I was going to say this will be quick, but does have the ability just to arrive as well here and maybe sit. But I think in these conditions, swirly wind, forehand, shot bowl first, second shot on the exit. Well, it might be the front one through Jack. Not quite. So Craig Mills, he's off running, protecting the head next door. And, yeah, getting back to Russell. Yeah, 2025 Everest singles over there in WA.
When's that on, Baz?
Mandurah Bowling Club, Easter
time. Nice.
$100,000 total
Beautiful.
prize money. So talking about singles, when there's $100,000 up for grab, singles is my favourite discipline.
Yeah, don't worry about 18K. Go for the big ungee.
But yeah, just heading over to the west. Great organisation. The Everest singles, well run. Yeah, and unfortunately we don't get over it enough. But when we do, we love it. So good playing the Ellie Shield over there last year. I couldn't wait to get off the plane and step foot onto that white crystal sand and see that beautiful sunset over the Indian Ocean there. Wow, Craig Mills. He's, I reckon he's made that slightly worse, bringing that blue bowl closer. Cody Packer doesn't want Jack now. Here we go, taking his time. More weight, both bowls. Oh, he's got the kill.
Yeah, nice shot there.
Now, Cody, part of his game, Lindsay, we spoke about, he's going back-to-back here for the Australian singles. Part of his game, he has definitely been able to show his versatility the last few years as well. He's played a bit of front end, playing a bit of back end, leading for New South Wales last week, but that's also a big part of the singles game, and being able to have that hit when you need it.
Yeah, I think having that in your back pocket is just a really good weapon. Obviously, I think the draw shots is actually what wins you the big singles titles, but being able to get yourself out of trouble when you need it, really crucial. It also adds another element to the opposition thinking, what's he gonna do? I need a back bowl. Like, do I need another one in the head? Like, he can play good weight, so it just adds another element to what the opposition thinks about how you play the game. But yeah, in saying that, what's that saying? Drive for show, draw for dough. Or,
that's the one.
That good old saying. But yeah, so a draw shot will win you games 9 times out of 10. But yeah, the drive can keep you in it, and also just keeps your opposition guessing as well.
And what I like about this too, Linz, is the traditional format where you be able to hit and start again. And we think of players like the great Robbie Perella. I know my mentor, John Snell, played with and against Robbie Perella a lot of times, saying Robbie Perella is the greatest driver the world has ever seen. And he said that, the ability to be able to consistently hit and start again, wear down your opponent. And these days now, with the respot, if you're a phenomenal driver, you don't get the ability to start again. You've got to hope wherever you do actually kill the end that respot does fall into your favour. So then that starts to create another component to the game, hit, but then maybe prepare for that hit, go to the tee early and so on. So that's also changed the way we see the game, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, Baz, I think. And we train that a lot. I know with our Jackaroo skills, driving and then going back to a dead draw isn't the easiest thing to do. But again, the more you practice it, the easier it becomes, and you get the confidence to back yourself with that kind of shot. Yeah, it's definitely an element that those at the highest level practice a lot. We talk about timing and momentum in getting your drive away. It doesn't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be a Ryan Bester. It just has to be accurate with the speed that you've got, and you need to be playing consistent speed. So you're not chopping and changing your weight and then it changes a line. You want to play the speed that is a sweet spot for you. So,
yeah, the sweet spot, that's right. What weight works for you, what suits your biomechanical makeup. Don't go testing your body or straining your body to do something it's not set for. No overload anywhere. And the sun comes back out. Bit of a break in the clouds there. And Cody Packer, well, he's drawn another. Craig Mills. I think this will be backhand. I think he'll try and drive away from his back bowls. Looking for a clean out. No, he is going forehand. Both bowls. Oh, he's got one. Yeah, so in terms of the biomechanics, we did some testing at the OS a few years ago there, Linz, where they put us all with little dots on us and turned us into robots and that, and they monitored speed of drive and all that, and where the eyes were looking and all that. Your biomechanics, so your timing, your technique, and all your body weight, it does play a big part, doesn't it, versus just swinging your arm fast?
Yeah, 100%. Timing and release point, I think, were two of the big key takeaways from that session. So there's, everyone kind of has their own technique or style when they're playing a runner or a drive, but there was a couple of key components. So getting it away smoothly, releasing it at the right point, and then that momentum. So something, again, you can play around with in your training. I know mine's gradually developed over the years. I played lead for about 10 years, as we see Cody play an absolutely fantastic
good
shot
shooting
there to make two, really important. So it's changed over the years, but now it's a lower, slower follow through on my delivery that I can then gain a bit more momentum. I'm not the biggest or strongest of people, but I feel like when I get my timing right, I can really get it away with some power and accuracy.
Yeah, so the release point, super important. Vertical release just seems to be a bit of a killer. Players just getting the ball away a bit in line with themselves versus out in front. Players I seem to coach, when they get a bit of extra speed happening, there's all this movement happening and they just get a little bit caught up with themselves versus maintaining that, like you say, that forward release and that release point. So great tips and insight from Lindsay Clark. And the reason, Lindsay, myself, we can sort of sit here fairly confident knowing what we're talking about. We've been very lucky, haven't we, to be around these sports science people at the Australian Institute of Sport. And it's so good for the game to be able to gain this information off people who are obviously very well educated in sports science, and then to deliver that back in your role, being in your current position, working with a lot of emerging players. It must feel great for you to do all your training and be around these people to say, well, this is what the experts are saying.
Yeah, I think you're right, Baz. Like, it's easy to say it, but the fact that we can back it up with that data and the scientific evidence from the experts just adds another layer of professionalism, and it does work. Like, there's little teeny boppers coming through that think X, Y, Z. We've got the evidence that this way and this style and this momentum is the most successful, and why. Backing that up with some evidence is really key. So, yeah, very lucky and being able to pass that through our sport then to different players, and then they take that back to clubland, and Baz, you with your coaching clinics as well. So, spreading that message and helping our sport and players in our sport get better and better with their shot selection, shot play, techniques, all that wonderful stuff that we love.
Yeah, well said. Great, a lot of good information out there. You start with YouTube or just Googling around. I've always said, you want to get better at playing bowls. It's similar to doing an apprenticeship. You've got to do your education, learn, watch bowls as much as you can. And here we are watching some really quality players as Craig Mills draws another. Study the players, study their body language, look at their techniques. You see Cody here. All right, bit of a kink in the arm, which I'm a big fan of. As he sets up, watch the release point out in front. Nice and smooth. Looking further, shot ball, just missing height. Staying square through that release too. Not too much lateral movement. So Craig Mills, does he put something in the way here? It's a tricky one. You start going to get another one in there, as much as he wants three, but
you don't want to fatten the target at the same time. Yeah.
Craig Mills
just needs to get there on this one. Hurry down to the line.
It's
pretty good.
He's happy with that.
Pretty good.
And counting.
Yeah, speaking about momentum, Baz, but I feel like when you get your momentum right, you're less likely to steer your bowl. I feel like prior to having the knowledge I do now, that I always tried to use my arm, which then, most times caused me to try and steer it across my body. So now I'm using my own body speed and momentum, a longer step. I feel like I can really get behind it and flow through it quicker.
Yeah, good insight. Thank you, Lindsay Clark, for joining us today. Of course, doing a lot of coaching in the sport, gaining as much education from these experts.
Always.
Well, I'll be. Craig Mills, he's just had a look around.
Deep breath.
Yeah, and Cody Packer, well, he's gone from 3 down to 1 up, and he's hit the shortest bowl of Craig Mills's, and that hurts.
I don't know if he can.
Gaining
He's
as
got
much
3 seconds, but
education
I'm not
from
sure
these
if
experts.
we can see the blue bowl as we see a replay
Well,
of this
I'll be.
good weighted bowl, I suppose you could
Craig
say.
yeah.
I mean, he got the gap. You get the gap there. He was pretty close to getting some kind of result.
Yeah,
Probably not this.
missing good areas, as they
yeah.
say. It's more so just the maximum of the result. If Craig was still holding one, Craig would have went, okay, I've hung on to that one, but with what's going on there with Craig, you know, sort of the emotion of not holding on to that 3, I don't know if he's actually had a good look at trying to get rid of that blue bowl. Forehand, looked to run it out with 6 feet. I think he's just trying to draw the shot. So the emotion here from Craig Mills is being tested. 3 up to 1 down in a blink of an eye. So he went from potentially being 15-16 down to now 17-11 down. Cody Packer. Huge result there.
Yeah, it's a moment. You got to let it go. There's nothing you can do about it now. So reset. Just need to move on quickly. I suppose that's the biggest learning. We talked about luck earlier, but when things aren't going well against you, you've just got to let them go. I mean, it happens. It's part of our sport. You know, people talk about it all the time, but it's about how you react to that now. This is a big end.
Yeah, what does your reaction look like? How comfortable can you be in uncomfortable situations? Laugh it off. My esteemed colleague, Robbie Allen, suggesting laugh it off. I don't mind that. Laughter, I've always said, where there is laughter, there is success.
Oh, is that one of yours? Hashtag?
You've got to, yeah, sometimes it's hard to find it, but my dad jokes, not everyone always laughs at them.
Oh, we miss your dad jokes on tour, Baz. You're famous for it. Really important end now from Craig Mills. Cody's got off to a good start with his first bowl.
Yeah, nice head of bowls so far. That's in the game there from Craig Mills. Cody, can he back it up? Tuck it round the corner. So usually this hand, you'd have to be out to the peg, out to the chalk line, but with that headwind versus that crosswind, it's just keeping this play a little bit tighter. I think Craig Mills will already go here, just knowing his game. Both bowls line up inside of that last one. Or does he just try and draw it off, get another one around the back? So it's more about the contingency here. Shot would be nice. Backus bowl, very handy as well.
It's not a mile away if it's up and about.
Now, Lindsay, we saw on the news recently, I'm not sure if you saw it, but there was a big news headlines about the sport of bowls. It was, unfortunately, it wasn't about a great initiative happening in the sport, but something big happened in the sport of bowls down in Victoria. Were you across that in the news?
Is this a joke? Or
No. A gentleman unfortunately passed away.
And left some money to a club or something,
If he left $1 million.
Left $1 million to the bowls club?
Yeah, but he'd played for 16 years at a club. And then I think around COVID times he went down to one club for a little try bowls day, enjoyed the company, and then he decided to leave his money to that club.
Wow.
So my question is to you, with all your millions...
Who am I leaving it to, apart from my children?
Look, I'm nearly finished as Craig Mills plays that. Unfortunately, doesn't hang around that bowl. You've had a big career across a couple of clubs. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Club Helensvale and now more recently Club Tweed. If one of those clubs came knocking on your door for one of your spare millions, who gets it?
Oh, Baz, your questions are gold. Look, I mean, I was at Helensvale for 20 years. I've now been at my beautiful home, Tweed, the Ospreys, for 4. I'm hoping by the time I pass, that's like a lot of years away. So hopefully that's another 40 years at Tweed. So I give my Ospreys the cash.
Oh, Club Helensvale, you miss out.
Look, it's where I started. It was my home, but the Ospreys, I love their vibe. I love their culture, led by Jared and Turles and the team there. It's so much about who I am is what they're about. So that's big for me. I think values, culture, the people. So, and hopefully it is 40 years down the track there.
Now, if anyone in any hierarchy from Tweed Heads is listening right now, I think you need to start watching who's making you drinks around the clubhouse now.
What about you, Vaz? Where are you leaving your millions? And not to OVO.
No, I'm always forever indebted to the Lakes Entrance Bowls Club. My first club I started was a little country town called Wedderburn, but yeah, forever indebted for Lakes Entrance Bowls Club. Employed me, sponsored me, really helped set me up with my life as
beautiful.
a bowler. So they'd be getting some money to put a bronze statue of me up outside the clubhouse.
Here we go, big moment in the game. Needs a bit of the jack, not the...
Just missing high, stiff.
Oh, that's super unlucky, but was always a risk. They probably saw 1 inch of his bowl to get that without the jack.
The front cannon was a good result. Onto the jack, cleaning a few out.
Yeah, he went after it.
He backed himself, and look, whatever happens from here on, Craig's going to walk off the green going, well, that's how I always play it. Like you said, you've got to stick to what works for you before. And Craig's got that shot. He's won many titles across his career playing that shot and getting them. So, it's unfortunate, but
it is, and it's risk versus reward. Also, timing of the game, the scoreboard, what just happened the end before. All these things probably need to come into it. Is that last end haunting him? Is he like, nah, I'll just go for it. Let's see. Pretty stiff there, but was always a risk when you only have one bowl in the head as well.
So let's go into the psychic of Craig Mills's head now. Let's go inside his head. He's at 21-11 down. He lost his morning game. Where our esteemed colleague, assistant, media man, Brains Trust, Robbie Allen next to us is saying, go for a walk, a few deep breaths. Linz, where are you at 21-11 down?
Yeah, I think I'm retying my shoelaces to start with.
Ooh.
I'm maybe not chasing a bowl, but I'm walking up after my third bowl to have a look at the head. I'm probably, just trying to change the momentum a little bit. It was like, there wasn't much, like 2 stiff ends there, I think, like a poor result that went against him with Cody getting maximum result and then his own unlucky one. But definitely needs to stem this flow of, I think mentally in his head, he's probably like, I haven't done much wrong here. So just needs to try and change something up a little bit. Feels like Cody's walking on a little bit of confidence here, and had a good start. His first bowl was really good. It could even be a maybe let loose with your first or second bowl when he's got a jack bowl target like that. I was coaching Brendan earlier in the first game, and J. By Norris did that really well. So Brendan was probably outdrawing him early on with his first 2 bowls, but he played a lot of good conversions, Jay, when tactically you probably think he'd get another one roundabout, but he went after the jack and backed himself and got it. So just needs to try and make something happen for himself here.
Yeah, so a few little tactics, different athletes do it. I'm not a huge fan, but Djokovic seems to go for a toilet break when things aren't going well for him in tennis. Not many of his opposition seem to like that when Djokovic goes for an untimely toilet break, but definitely.
You can do it though, I suppose, can you?
And I've had some people sort of say, Barry, it's amazing just being able to close your eyes for 5 or 10 seconds and just picture you playing good. Just picture some good performance for 10 seconds and then grab a snapshot of that and then run with it, or go back to a good performance. So Millsy, 3 ends ago, drew a front resting toucher or side resting toucher in this direction. Close your eyes, see that fresh in your mind, and then tell yourself you can do it again. So maybe running with some previous positive performance as Millsy's coming down. He's just going to miss under and just under weight, but it's a good head of bowls. So a question there from Beverly Ryan, is there an app to use for coaching purposes for bowls? What can club coaches do to keep up to date with coaching methods? There is definitely a lot of stuff out there on YouTube. Various people around the world have put some videos together. There's plenty of books as well. I not always specifically about coaching, but if you read some autobiography from Ian Schuback, Kelvin Kirko, Cameron Curtis, these type of players, and great to the game. Even you go way back to Peter Bellis's book, John Snell, Winning Bowls, those kind of books. You can download John Snell's coaching book in a PDF format, and that was a really good, not only really good instruction book, but a really good coaching book. So John Snell, Winning Bowls. So there's definitely some good stuff around there. I've got a little video series on the Bowls Australia website, Beverly, Bowling with Barry, just a few little bowling snippets there. So there's plenty of stuff out there online now. We're quite spoilt for choice, Lindsay.
Yeah, definitely, Baz. I think at the moment BA are going through the update, I guess, of the coaching, what do you call it, like the modules. Yes, thank you, Robbie. Thank you. Words aren't my specialty. But yeah, they're updating that, making it a little bit more modern. I think it'll be accessible to people out there in Bowlsland. I suppose it depends what kind of level you're coaching at as well. So from the basic introductory level, you're just wanting to get people into your club, enjoying the game, knowing the basics. And then, as you get higher up, do you want, that middle session where you want your club winning pennant flags? You want your members, they want to win their first club title. And then the next step up from there, your district or state representatives and what that needs. So the higher up you get, I guess you more delve into the mental side of things, and your sports psych, and a little bit of the fitness stuff to make sure your mindset is still crystal clear from 8 a.m. through to 9 p.m. So yeah, there's different elements for different levels of our sport.
Yeah, definitely good stuff out there. Have a look around, search around, contact your local state association as well. They'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah, we've got a few players now across the green into the checkout zone. Playing 25 up here at the moment. So Cody only 3 away. We've got Dawn Heyman over Colleen Orr from Northern Territory. She's 4 away.
And just made a 2 as well, Colleen Orr.
Still in the fight. We got Jado from Tassie. He's 3 off. 3 off the mark. And then Kelly McCarahan from Victoria. In a really good battle with Chloe Morrison from ACT. 41 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, definitely a warm one, Linz. This is where you're getting mentally and physically tested. What's in your drink? Carbohydrates. Loading up with many fuels as you can get. Food and hydration, as Robbie Allen points to us with some
concoction.
Crazy looking drink that he's got here. Mother Original. What is this thing? He's pointed at
You don't need that, Baz. Don't drink that.
He's pointed at the carbohydrates and caffeine. Wow. No, stay away from that, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe just stick to your electrolyte tablets in your bottle of water.
Robbie's on the go from like 4 a.m. till midnight, so we'll let him off for that one.
But one of the first things that should be packed in your bowls bag, definitely have a good stainless steel drink bottle. Craig Mills needs the jack here. Sliding past. And yeah, you're right. A few games in the checkout zone. Colleen Orr now 19. Dawn Heyman 21. Men's singles Tassie. Jado playing Daniel Baker. He's up 22-15. Kelly McCarahan. She's got a nose in front there. Of course, coming out of Victoria. Kelly, very experienced player.
Cody's currently holding game here. There is a bit of room. Really big bowl needed to stay in this match.
Yeah, nice correction, Millsy. So down game. Saves game for now. Still has one to come, but yeah, Kelly McCarahan up against Chloe Morrison in that one. Chloe, young gun from ACT.
She won the Grand Slam of club titles down there in the ACT. Singles, pairs, triples, fours. A huge effort. Bit of a
that is a big achievement, yeah.
One of our jackaroos, emerging jackaroos coming through the ranks.
So Cody Packer looking for this bowl of Craig Mills's. He's getting down to it.
Very
no
close
jack
to this.
now.
He's played it perfect. What a shot from Cody. everything to play for. 3 seconds, holding game again now. 1 bowl left to come. Millsy having a laugh.
Yeah, Millsy's got to. He's got to probably 2.5 feet, 3 feet to get second. So he's currently 3 down, but he only has to get second shot to stay alive here, even third shot. But repeat the dose of his previous delivery.
And we've just got Gigi asking for the SA Queensland women's score. They're actually on a green 2, sorry. So we're out here in green 4. We can't quite get our eyes on that one. But stay tuned to the bowls now page. You'll be able to follow all the results. We're going a little bit quick here. That might be shaking hands time, I think.
And that's all over, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Packer from Western Australia defeats Craig Mills from South Australia 25-11. And it was a big finish by Cody Packer on the 16th end. He went 2, 17th end 1, then he went 4, 1, 3. So momentum, but that was a big finish in terms of the last half of that game, pretty much winning the majority of those ends through that last 10-end period. But Craig Mills, a couple of stiff results here and there, but all in all, still a high-quality match, Lindsay.
Yeah, it was awesome, Baz. It was always going to be a tough battle out there, both quality players. I'm pretty impressed. My tip got up. Sorry, Baz, it's your shout, mate.
I already bought you a coffee earlier.
Oh, you did too? Oh, double up that. No.
Jeez, can't win.
But no, it was great to see Cody in fine form as well. So, and especially with that margin. So, yeah, really awesome for Cody to get that one under the belt. But Craig, still everything to play for. There is a bronze medal playoff as well. So I would love to get his last sectional game up. Whenever you're playing for your state and your club, you just want to do as best you can. So great to see a little bit of action here of the girls.
Yeah, for sure. Robbie, he's got his cameras. Yeah, so he's got that camera angle there for you across the 3 scoreboards, as you can see. NT, 19-21 New South Wales. Tassie, that's the men's one. So women's singles on the right, men's singles in the middle, and women's singles on the left for those that have tuned in today and still hanging around. We'll cover up a bit more of this as Robbie does his great work with the camera. So that's 2 to Dawn Heyman. Now leads 23-19. And you're right, Lindsay. We can't right now bring you the scores that are happening around the back of the club. But for what we see in front of us, it's pretty impressive fields, aren't they, Lindsay?
Yeah, look, I mean, anyone that can work your way into this to win through your state championship all the way to the Australian finals, you're going to have quality players everywhere. So, nobody can be underestimated, and every state is a chance of going home with the Australian title. So, lots of great bowls to see. If anyone's in the area, get down to Broadbeach. Fantastic place to come and watch the action and see some of the best in the business go about the business.
So Cody Packer winning his first game by 5 shots, and of course that one by 14. So he'll move up to plus 19. Jumping Jado in Tassie. And Jado there is in a bit of a battle against Daniel Baker, NT. Not much in that one at all. 22-16. So Daniel Baker will be trying to hang around.
It'd be quite. I mean, if Jado from Tassie wins that one, Cody and him will both have 2 wins each. It's almost like would be a mini semi-final in the last round of sectional play. So we're going to head off now, Lindsay. I just want to say, wow, first of all, thank you for your knowledge and insight to a bit about your career, but I'm loving some of that high-performance stuff you've brought. I know a lot of the questions we've received, you've done a great job in covering off those and answering to the best of your ability. And once again, well done to Karen Murphy AM on your recent achievement and inductee to the Sports Australia Hall of Fame. Lindsay, I'm sure you're not far away from that as well. So we'll be looking for the headlines over the next few years. But well done with everything you're doing, giving back to the sport. You've given so much to the sport already on green and off green while you were playing, but now skipping away for Queensland and
retired Jackaroo, giving back to the sport and coach environment. All the best with your girls on tour trip up to Bundaberg.
Yes.
You've got a lot coming up. And, and what about Brendan? Tell us a bit about his next game and then we'll head off.
Yeah, thanks, Baz. That was very complimentary. Pleasure to come on and jump on board. I love talking bowls all the time, especially with you. Got some good banter and the questions coming through as well. And fantastic for Robbie and the team to get bowls out there. The more bowls live stream we can get to people out there of all countries and places, the better. But yeah, Brendo's up next against Jay Bruce from New South Wales. I'm not sure what happened between him and Jay Norris, but we do know that Brendan, if he can get a win, he'll be playing for a medal of some sort. So yeah, it's all been a great learning curve for Brendan. He's someone coming through the ranks. He's such a great player, a great person as well. So really looking forward to supporting him and being someone in his corner and helping him on his journey.
Well, thank you, Lindsay Clark, for joining us. Just recapping that one. So, Cody Packer searching for back-to-back Australian singles titles. Too good in the end. 25-11 over Craig Mills from South Australia. And we'll be up next at 3 o'clock. Women's round 3 match. Christina Christic, Unanime Moffat from South Australia. That'll be a good game. Young gun from South Australia taking on last night's champion and Australian Jackaroo in Christina Christic. I'm Barry Lester. Thank you for joining me, and we'll be up soon at 3 o'clock. See you then.